Welcome back to Workshop Friend and part 3 of making a rear tool post for my Colchester Student lathe. In this video we're going to complete the milling on the column, make the 2 clamping bolts and fit the tool post on the lathe and give it a try and see if it actually works. With the base attached to the column, I can now use that to help tram up the work. I'm still getting used to my milling machine and this face cutter, and you'll see in the next shots that I actually found I could push the machine a lot harder. Okay, we've got 39 thou to go, so I'll take that down 1 more millimeter, and I want to come up to this line here so that I can then chamfer this at 45 degrees. So I want to come right into the corner. Okay, I've rotated the head now 45 degrees, ready to cut this chamfered portion here. That meant I had to move the vise over, so I've just moved that over and retrammed it in so it's square, and I'm just going to come down close to this surface and then feed across until we get that chamfer in. So I'm just marking out now for the slot. It will be 20 millimeters from the top edge and just a little wider than the width of the tool holder, plus extra for packing. As I went along, I also found that I could push the end mill a lot harder than I did to start with, so you'll see my depth of cut gradually increasing. That's about it. I've deburred all the edges and set it back up on my surface plate, packed it up here so it's parallel. Not that that's particularly important. The main thing is that I'm picking up this edge on the surface plate, and I'm just going to scribe the lines now for the two bolt holes. They're 7/16 UNC. I'm going to pick up the center line, and then they're spaced at 1.5 inches. Right, I carefully deburred everything already, but I noticed a few bits I'd missed, so I've done that again. Gone round all the edges here just to make sure there are no sharp features. It's all smooth and nicely rounded, but everything is square. I don't like excessive deburring. I think it should just be neat and tidy. Now, one thing I've noticed in just trying the bolt, in fact I tried two, they're both a bit on the tight side. Don't know why that is. I'm going to have to solve that problem perhaps by just taking a bit more off the crest when I make those two bolts. I had originally planned to have a generous chamfer on here because that corner performs no function. All the strength is in this area here, so this could have been removed. Now I'd arranged for a chamfer like that, quite a big one. But then I had second thoughts, and often that's the case when you come out and you look at things through fresh eyes. I realized that when this is sitting on the back of the lathe, this will make an excellent place to put my dial test indicator. So I don't want to cut all that away. So what I'm going to do is just leave enough space for the dial test indicator to come up against the bolts, and then determine the chamfer according to that. So I can come in a little bit underneath the base, but not too far. So somewhere like, let me see, somewhere about there. So what we'll do is we'll just mark that up, the new chamfer, and I'll take that over to the mill, and we will that'll be the last operation on this, to just chamfer that. Over to the Myford lathe now to make the two bolts from drill rod or silver steel. So I've roughed out the thread and I'm just going to finish it off with a die. So that ensures that the thread is square, but it also gives me the correct form. And here we go with the second bolt. Of course, once you've done the first one, the second one's a lot quicker. Back to the lathe to face the bolts and add a chamfer. Okay, the two bolts are now ready for heat treatment. So I've deburred them. So we're going to harden them. This is drill rod or silver steel, so we're going to bring it up to red heat and then quench it in water, and then I'm going to clean up the scale so that I can see the tempering colors and then temper it back to a dark blue color. Broke my nail on one of these sharp edges here, one of these sharp corners, even though actually it was already deburred. This little fence set up here, and I can pick up the 4 holes and use that to clamp down on the table. I've already done 2 edges, as you can see, and it's really quite quick to index around and do these 4 corners or 4 edges, and then I'll change the setup slightly for doing the 4 beveled edges. Well, at last we're ready for final assembly. As I mentioned before, the advantage of having 4 holes is that I can orientate the tool post that way or that way, so with the headstock being here. And I could envisage operations where it would be useful to have a rear tool post and a tool facing in this direction. But of course, for my parting tool, it's going to be this way. I've cleaned everything, I've given everything a thorough deburr and removed all the swarf, so I can confidently put this together now. So the tool holder will go upside down. So the tool goes on upside down because, of course, most of the time I will continue to operate the lathe in forward. So I've made this packing piece that goes underneath here, and that should just about bring it to the right height. Well, as you can see, I've already been using the new parting tool set up. I've used it a couple of times. I've experimented a little bit with center height. This is my gauge, which I use for setting up all my tools, and it's just very slightly above center line, which of course is necessary if you're cutting with the tool upside down. I've cut these 2 items. So first of all I did a ring, and then next time just a plain disc, and this time I chamfered both sides before parting off or during parting off, and I must say they've come out very nicely. So they are consistent around the circumference, in fact remarkably so, and there's just a very slight convex surface there, which might actually be due to the, I'm not quite sure what it is, but very slightly convex. Maybe it's the efficiency of the turning at the center is slightly less than at the circumference where the cutting speed's higher, but that's acceptable, entirely acceptable. And I didn't really take much care over these, just knocked them out really. So with this setup, I can begin the parting off process, advance the chamfer tool to chamfer the rear side of the component, and then complete the parting off all in one setting. Well, it just goes to show you can never be complacent with parting off. You saw there was a dig in there, and you can see that it's caught here. Something's caught here, it's snagged up there and ruined that surface finish. What actually happened was I fiddled around with the camera while I was still withdrawing the cross slide, and I should have paused and changed the camera setting and then continued.